Hello everyone, welcome back. Just doing a live stream here. Haven't done a live stream in a good while. Haven't had too much time on my hands until today, really. And I was asked probably about 3 weeks ago when I was doing a live stream, so here we are. Just sort of the only things I really wanted to cover. Was getting asked quite a lot of questions not so long ago on skim, multi-skim versus Carlite skim. So I was sort of on to go over them again. I do have a video on them, on Carlite versus multi, also on bonding, both sets of bonding, Carlite's bonding versus the British gypsum bonding, and my thoughts on both of them, which ones I prefer and stuff as well. I had a lot of questions on them. What's up, Adam, buddy, and Jimbo? Going good here, guys. Just some old footage again in the background, haven't mentioned as well. I'll probably jump on the latest videos as well. Good here, guys. I hope you are getting on well. Hope your work's all picking up again too. But yeah, sort of wanted to cover some questions I've been getting asked. Quite a lot of questions actually. I find it easier to make a video and answer questions sometimes other than type back. Takes me ages to type back. As when I'm talking, I can just basically say what it is I'm thinking and how I'm getting on. Just trying to pop up these messages here. The sort of reason I did keep this footage is that, well, I was looking at the job recently and the people are thinking of putting coin stones on, probably about that height as well. So if that job comes off, I'll certainly get some clearer footage. Again, this camera I'm using here was like a backup camera, wasn't the best. So the camera I have now, I tend to think is a bit more clear. As you can see, some of the, especially in the summer days there, I thought it was taking good footage compared to the previous two backup cameras that I had. But the good thing is about the two cameras I sort of have now is they're both waterproof, which is a must for a plasterer. The one I'm using now as well, I think it's dust proof as well and shock proof as well, but I don't think I've dropped it yet, so hopefully keep it that way. Yeah, somebody was also saying as well that they can't get ox in the US, but I think ox do have a company set up there, and I'm sure they'll post it and send stuff out. But it also might be that they don't sell the hurling trowels that we have, the hurling trowels that we have here. It's just a dashing trowel. Somebody did fancy the ox trowel that I actually use on this job particular. So that way. But going all the way back, so the questions I was getting asked basically was about old walls with multi finish. Actually, a wee recent bit of a couple of walls I did, the multi finish, it wasn't nice on the walls. In my opinion, it wasn't that very creamy. It was the only skim I could actually get my hands on. That way, get back to you in a second, Adam. But I didn't really like it great, but I think it was also the PVA it wasn't a great brand I was using as well. I think I might try and avoid that brand in the future. So Adam's just typing in the comments, how do you get faster at skimming? He's been at it for 6 months. His skim to a good standard, just slow. Adam, buddy, it sounds like you're doing the right thing. Keep it to a good standard. If that's your pace, that's your pace. If you do try to hurry up or get quicker, you could make mistakes and leave a butcher's job, and you don't want to be doing that. Speed will actually come with time. The more things you learn and pick up, you'll actually be able to travel walls quicker. But I actually found myself on the last wee job I was doing, I wasn't greatly fast myself anyway. So obviously, if you're getting put under pressure, it's hard to keep the quality up. But definitely, you will get faster over time because you'll learn things, you pick things up. Even the likes you're mixing, you'll be mixing at the consistency that you really like, and that actually helps speed you up and stuff. But speed skims and stuff might be able to get you that bit quicker on your first trial and stuff. And obviously the superflex the superflex 3 couldn't possibly get you on a wee bit earlier. But again, that's just tools. You can do all that with just a normal trowel, but I do find more options is better for us. And again, I'm sure you've probably got a couple of trowels now, Adam, yourself as well, and I'm sure you'll find you'll start to favour certain things, and that's a good thing as well. But obviously, always keep your mind open to other possibilities that might be quicker that way. But as long as your work's to a good standard, you're doing the right thing. If you're only doing 2 walls a pop, or even a wall a pop, it's better to leave it a tidy, good job than to try and horse on and get 3 walls on, and maybe you'll lack your quality, or just have to spend more time in the end of the day trying to tidy up, which won't be great for you either. So hope that's helping. Hope that's helping a lot. So basically the questions I was being asked is about timings and stuff over old walls, how I seal my background, blue grit stuff, etc. I sort of have covered them. Obviously newer people come and asking me these questions as well, maybe haven't seen previous videos and stuff as well. So obviously I'm covering that for newer people coming in as well. But the guy's basically saying, can you control the suction better with blue grit? If it's still high suction, like, you might have to actually give that 2 coats. You might have to give it a PVA and then coat it with grit. I know dusty areas can be, you can use a dust blocker on them and stuff as well to help that way. So I'm just working for somebody at the moment wanting to start my own business, and just doing, I think this is a good idea. It depends what how long have you been plastering yourself, Adam? How long have you been at it before and how long are you wanting to learn off the guy you're working for? How long are you going to put in before you try and jump out on your own? What's up, Justin, buddy? Going good. I had a pretty good Christmas. Not as relaxing as I would have wanted, but I seem to be getting a couple more days now where I can relax anyway, so that'll recruit me. But I also have a lot of sort of bits and pieces I want to get done. I like that step. I'm not sure if anybody's seen it. I built in that step and stuff. I kind of want to do a couple of wee skylark things maybe on that. A couple of things going on in my mind, and just need to get them done as well. Yeah, Adam, no pressure, buddy, but I'm sure you can search on the channel. There might be certain things. Probably, I think there's like 300 videos, so they're bound to be something in 300 videos that will help you and give you some tips and stuff as well. After 6 months working for my boss, then I'm thinking of going home. I'm not sure how long I worked for people for before I went out my own. It was a lot longer than 6 months. People believe that It depends what type of jobs you plan on taking on, Adam. Because yeah, like plastering's got a lot of aspects as well. But again, you know, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying rush into doing it either. Because obviously, if you're employed now or you're getting good steady work where you are now and you're learning, obviously you don't want to be killing yourself. It'll be 12 months, so you'll be at it a year. That's a good time, so I'm sure you have picked up quite a lot. But I know the guy I learned most of my trade off, I was with him for about 3 years, and I was with other people, and then I was back with the guy I started with. And even when I went back, I still learned things from that same guy. And again, not everybody wants you to learn. You know, people. Not don't want to bitch about anybody, but some people do not want you to pick up. You know, personally, I don't mind people learning. I think it's the only way that we're all going to get better. That way, and I don't feel any pressure in people learning and coming up that's younger than me and learning and getting to a good standard. You know, if I'm able to teach somebody, I'll actually take a bit of pride in the fact that I helped somebody out. But yeah, it depends on how much of the aspects you've picked up. I'm sure you're definitely good at the skimming, like you've said. But there might be some jobs that you might not be able to take on until you figure everything out as well, like the sand, cement, beading. I'm not saying that you can't do them already. You might have picked it up. Everybody learns at different stages and different levels. Some people don't pick things up, and then all of a sudden they'll pick lots of things up. Yeah, but definitely it's, you know, take your time and think about it. You don't want to rush into any decisions and leave yourself where you have no work lined up because you've decided you're going to take on one wee job, and then your boss thinks, or the guy you're working for thinks, I'm not taking it back. That way, so it's definitely, I obviously don't know all your situations of all your bills and stuff and all, but it's definitely being working is better than not being working. But again, as well, you have to enjoy yourself too. You can't be working for somebody if they're not treating you good or not paying you well enough. You have to be, it has to be a happy medium. Like I always understood that even now when you're working for builders and stuff, and you're working for anybody, you have to understand that they might be making a little bit of money on you, but that's the game. That's what it is. They're getting the work. It's kind of like payment. It's almost like you paying them for advertising you in a slight way. That way. But yeah, my buddy he was actually sending me all these messages through Facebook. But definitely I'd rather messages on YouTube. I get them quicker. I don't always check my Facebook, even though my business page is on there, but I don't get onto that as often as I would YouTube. That way. But basically the guy's just really asking on reskims, sort of second coating. He was really wanting to ask about when you first coat, should you basically flatten it all down and then put your second coat on, but you don't necessarily need to do that because it might be, your first coating might be tidy enough where you could just skim straight over the top of it. So you might not need to actually flatten it all in. Personally, I would only really flatten it in if it was picking up a wee bit and I wasn't happy that it was neat. You maybe get a couple of lines out, because what can happen there is, well, in my opinion, is the likes of when you don't flatten in your first coat and you've left too many lines or waves, your second coat, and then later on when you're trailing up, you'll see a lot of sort of just in different colours. Not that it's going to be bad painted, it's probably going to be fine 100%, but like tiger marks, basically that's what it is. You're creating a bit like a polished plaster effect. The reason you get all them colours in the polished plasters because you're putting it on all different angles and different strokes. You're leaving bits on high and then you're scraping them back off, and that's what helps give that effect of the grain. It's the grain in the plaster that'll look that way. What's up, Gordon Mackey? That's another plastering channel starting up, guys. Gordon Mackey. He started doing a few videos and seems top quality work in his videos, so that's an also, you just want to give him a wee check out, guys, and give him some support would be good. Definitely, guys, when you're putting your work out there, you have to be, you know, people will criticize it, but you know, don't you be your own biggest critic. That's my opinion. And that way nobody else can offend you basically or put you down, because you know, once you start to realise what the standard is and what your standard is and what your capabilities are, you know, you'll be above everything else anyway, so you'll know what's good and you'll know what's bad yourself. You don't need people to critique you that way. But again, Gordon's work's top class. He's did a ceiling and some cornicing as well. Not a thing wrong with it. Lovely painted up too. So that, I'm hoping Vincent jumps in here. He was asking a lot of questions, sort of, and there's a lot of people here with plenty of ideas, and there's also people with probably more experience than me that be on my channel as well. And experience tells a lot. Like I was saying earlier, you were asking about how to get faster skimming. Experience can bring you a long way, with being quicker. Just even for instance, your bucket of water. I'm almost giving away something that's going to be in another video of mine, but even for instance, your bucket of water, if you're working on a site or in somebody's house, it doesn't really matter, but the bucket of water you clean your tools in and you take and you splash on the wall to trowel up. Even taking an empty bag of finish and putting that under that bucket of water will help you clean up later on, because any water that drips, any dirt that drips around the sides of the buckets will be collected by an old bag that's going to go in the bin anyway. So even with things like that, it'll just speed up your day. Might not speed you up plastering, but it'll speed you up cleaning, so that gives you more time. You can maybe chuck a few beads on, clean windows, spend more time cleaning windows, spend more time cleaning out sockets, door frames, skirtings, arcades, depends on what you're working around. But you know, more jobs you do, the quicker. You know, you might think, put dust sheets down and I'll not have to scrape up then, you know. Just your experience will give you a lot of shortcuts basically that aren't, you know, you're not cutting a corner, they literally are just a shortcut. So that's what experience can give to you. So Mackie's heading back to work. Ooh, working at this time, buddy. Not sure if you're gone or not, Gordon, but take it easy, man. Hopefully it's just a wee patch job you're doing, nothing too big at 5:30 at night. And you're getting well paid for it, boy. But yeah, a couple of things up and coming on the channel. I'm sure you've seen the wee step. I need to get it finished up as well. Not sure if you guys have watched the Skylark videos. I was actually talking to him a lot on YouTube. He doesn't seem to do YouTube anymore, unfortunately. An absolute top class tailor and builder and plasterer. The guy could do everything. He'd put people to shame. He really would. But basically, he was mixing up the stones inside the render, putting it on, and then washing the stones back. And on the step, I'm actually going to just chuck the footage up here a wee second. But on the step, it kind of, you know, it was basically, I'm going to try and replicate his, but I'm not sure of his mixes. He has said his mixes you don't put sand in, you use stone dust. The only thing I could really find was lime. You know, I don't really want to be putting lime on a step. This is the step I'm actually talking about. So I've already, obviously this is a lot further on. There's another video coming out tomorrow of me showing the rendering part of it. There will be more on this. I know it's bored a few people and they're sick of watching it, but I think it's going to cover a couple of things, and show a couple of interesting things. I know I haven't talked through it or anything. I know I'm going crazy with the level, but when I do this I will want to slope this slightly away from the house. Basically I want to have it plumb, but I want to have it to one side of the bubble. Yeah, gotta be taxed. Gonna have to tax this back just. But yeah, because I obviously want the water running away from the house, that way. So I want to get some footage. Might be doing this actually this weekend. Might finish off the concrete part of it. I was actually really thinking the chippings that the wall was plastered in to the right. I'm not sure if anybody's seen that video, but that's another video we did. I actually have a video of me blocking that wall up, pulling it all apart, blocking that wall up, and scratching it and dicing it. But I was actually thinking of concreting it with that there, concreting it with that stone and trying to wash it off like skylark finish. What's up, crazy DK buddy? Yeah, definitely. Appreciate that, man. Everything I do, I try to do it as good as quality as I possibly can. That way, I'm sure, and I know most plasterers do. 98% of them definitely they're in it to have a good name. That way. So looks like I'm going to be a designated driver tonight, which I don't mind. So it was also funny enough, just sort of on talking about Facebook, there was a group, a DIY group there, and people were asking about what's the best way to take off wood chip and paper. It didn't, personally the picture didn't really look like wood chip to me. It just looked like there's actually wallpaper coming up in a video. It looked similar to that. The wallpaper looks like has a wee foam pattern on it, but it's not wood chip. Wood chip actually is wee chips of wood in it. But bear in mind it's still an old house and her wallpaper is probably going to be hard, and they were asking, you know, what's the best way to take it off, and most people were saying steamer, and some people were saying steamers are bad as well because it can take off the plaster, and some people were saying it was a waste of money. Personally, I do have a video up there where I put it to the test on a newer house, mind, but it was on bare plaster, 2 coats of paper, like 2 full coats of paper, not just a coat and its backing coat, a coat, its backing coat, a coat and its backing coat, and also then one of them coats were like a final finish, so it wasn't going to let the water in great, but obviously the sponge slightly beat the steamer. But saying that now, I'm not totally against people using steamers, because obviously, and I say in the video as well, it is mentioned that steamers have their place as well, and wood chip probably is definitely it. And people did say, and I've seen myself, painter and decorators put the steamers on in the middle of the room and just closing the door and the windows and letting it just almost condensation on all the paper and taking it all off for them. So definitely, there's, like I said, experience. The more you do things, the more you'll learn. Not that I'm a great bricklayer. I know my mate Peter, if he was here, he'd be saying you're making a great chef. Although this step I actually built this in the summer, like, so It's been through a lot already. It's not finished, obviously, but it is absolutely rock solid. What I didn't mention in the video, because I didn't do any talkovers, what I might do is, when I have this step completed, I might cut them all down, trim the videos up, and do a voiceover of it and explain to everybody what I'm doing. For instance, in that satin cement there's SBR, we taste of waterproofer as well, and that stuff is really strong. Another thing people probably don't know is that satin cement is plastering sand. Again, you should probably build with building sand, but I find plastering sand, obviously I'm a plasterer so I always have it at hand, but I find plastering sand to be a stronger set, so it sets more tight and stronger. It does less likely to crack in my opinion, but then you have to think about the bond, and I think that obviously bricklaying sand will have a better bond, and it'll be stickier, that sort of way. But I'm not sure. Hopefully, even if Vincent gets a chance, he'll be able to watch this and catch up on it. Sort of might just crack on through his other questions as well. And sure, even you guys could let me know what your thoughts are on. He also asked, had I used Pure Finish, Thistle Pure Finish? I think that's what it was called. I seen it. I did see it online, but I haven't used any of it myself. I'm not sure. Is any of you spreads out there had a go at the new Thistle Pure Finish? I think it's in a blue bag, a light blue bag. But again, his concerns were mostly about the second coating of the walls. Personally, as long as you don't let the wall get too far, it should be okay to just second coat over, as long as it's tidy, not too many lines or dips, that sort of way. But so, also want to talk about upcoming videos as well. Just going to change the background, guys. Put something on you haven't already watched, or you haven't watched in a while maybe. So, upcoming videos. There's a video coming up. Not even sure what way to make it. I've already sort of started making into the video. Hopefully somebody else watch this later on. People watch now, you can give me a wee bit of advice what you think. Basically, it's a small enough job, about the size of a cupboard wall, but it's been stripped back to the red brick, and it's been re-rendered. There was cracks, there's been mesh put in, fibres put in, mixing up stuff with the REFINA petrol drill, and re-skimmed. So also wallpaper taken off, but I'm not sure. It's going to be quite a long video. I might just crunch it up and it covers a lot of aspects of plastering, or I might cut it up and have 3 videos. I'm not sure what people would prefer. Would people prefer to watch one long video, or would they prefer to watch 3 short ones? That would be the sort of thing they would want to know. Whether they would rather watch the big long video with me going through the wallpaper stripping, maybe just talking about the whole job, you know, why am I even stripping off, and why was I trying to strip it off neatly, why I went about the way I went about it, why I chipped it off the way I chipped it off, why I used ASBR, why I used mesh, all them sorts of things. Also on this particular job, which will lead me on to an unboxing that's coming. There's an unboxing that's coming, and it's a material. I've never actually did a material unboxing. It's always been tools. So that's something to keep your eyes and ears open for, guys. And some materials coming to the channel, and you get a chance to see something that, you know, I haven't really used this product much. Very little. And I'm getting a chance, I'm going to teach myself a wee bit about it more. There's actually something on that job, the job in particular that I was talking about there, just jumping back 5 seconds, which is like a covered wall that's going to be chipped off and replastered back to new. But beside it, there's 2 corbels coming across, like it's like a top of stairs. There's 2 corbels, and they're like wee angel sort of things. They're like wee faces, wee angels, and they're holding up a beam, basically, that's holding up the wall up above, if you imagine. So they look like they're holding up the beam, and the beam's holding up the wall. And I might try and replicate them. I'm talking to a good mate of mine, and I might try and get him to help me replicate them. If we can replicate, there's one on each side. If we could take one of each side, and we could both have the mould. Because to me it's interesting. It's an old Victorian house, has plenty of character that way, even if there's a couple of bits outside on the brickwork that also is, you know, it's Victorian. And I might speak to him, me and him get together maybe someday and replicate these things, as there's something that, you know, if you got an artist that carve you these things out of stone or even out of clay, it would cost you a lot of money. So it's something that I'm interested in as well. Obviously you've seen recently we did the plaster mold job, cornice that way, so it's, you know, I want to crack into all that aspect of plastering as well. And I have lots of ideas. It's just getting a wee bit of time to do them, and I'm hoping the next few weeks, maybe next month, I'm going to start doing a few more molds. Not going to really do any demos on it, but I will run a few molds, and I'll put them up, and I'll get them, you know, I'll show what I can do as well. Also a few other wee things that are related to molds and the polished plaster that I'm interested in doing as well. So that way. But so I think that's it. We'll wrap it up for now. I'm gonna go get something to eat. Might jump back on later on for another wee live stream. Definitely gonna go for food right now. Just got a text for food, so that's gonna be happening. But like I said, new videos every Sunday. If I don't have a new video up on Sunday, there'll be something wrong. Because I seem to have kept to that for the last 2 years in a row. Seem to have kept to that schedule of having 2 videos sorry, a video or at least 2 videos a week, and always on a Sunday. I know a few people definitely know that it's on a Sunday, but I have to keep the message out there. Definitely is a new video every Sunday, and like I'm always saying, there's always new stuff coming to the channel. As you can see, a wee bit of bricklaying and stuff, that sort of way. But I want to keep the channel sort of having new things, and also I need to sort of re-upload some other videos I've done, freshen them up a bit, maybe make them better, more clear that way. And also, just actually to mention tools, although I might leave that in another video. Talk about tools that have been, been using for the last 3 years that have been consistently good. I think I might give them all a wee bit of a shout out of that, of their particular brands and stuff as well. So don't know why it does that. Sometimes when you switch between footage, it goes funny. But yeah, so I think I'll maybe nip on again another couple of hours after I get a big feed in me. Maybe nip on for another half an hour. Hopefully Gordon Mackey gets back. Hopefully Justin's still about, and Adam, and hopefully Jimbo, and I'm hoping that the 2 brothers can come on and chat as well. I like them guys coming on. The 2 guys from Twitter that always come in and have a chat. They're good lads. And hopefully Vincent can come in, Vincy, and have a wee chat, because like I said, there's always other plasters about as well. I don't mind people chatting on their experiences. I actually encourage it, because everybody's experience might be a wee bit different, and everybody may come up with a different way of going about things. Sponge floating, some people prefer it, some people don't. There's so much things that can be talked about. Just as about to go, Spence asks a cracking question. What trowel do I use in each part of the plastering? So basically, on the most trowel I actually have in my hand is REFINA stainless steel. That's my main trowel. I don't use it for floating anymore though. I keep the ragni trowels for that. I actually have a newer ragni trowel that is just for sand and cement, so I'm trying to break it in. Unfortunately, it's spring steel, so it has rusted on me. So I didn't actually know that. I thought it was stainless steel. I didn't know it was spring steel. Spring steel tends to rust, but it's very thick and it's very strong. But it's a high lift handle and it's pretty comfortable. And it's actually, I did some sand and cement with it. It will feature in a video upcoming, believe it or not. So it's going to feature on most of my sand and cement coming up. It did feature in a couple of other ones there too. I've actually still been using the POINTSMAN hawk. It's been my main hawk. I haven't picked up my Marshalltown since I've used it a couple of times. I got the feel of it. Enjoyed it. So basically my stages, Spence. So I'll throw on my skim with stainless steel, trowel from REFINA. I'll first coat with that, possibly even second coat with it, and then my third coat would be, at the minute, it's the black handled golden Super Flex 3 from REFINA, and that would finish off with that. Also, sometimes, it just sometimes depends what I get my hand to, I'll use the Ox Ultra Flex, as it also gives a really nice cut and a nice finish. I'll also, if I'm doing any shining up, not that you want to really polish your ceilings or your walls too much, but if I'm doing any sort of final trowels, and basically I use my final trowel for an extra assessment of the job, make sure there's no blemishes or imperfections, and I'll use the Ox or the REFINA Super Flex again. I think that sort of covers the stages of them. I might try and put that into a video and show that. I sort of did on previous videos, but I might show it again. How do you mix screed exactly? So floor screed, the way I would mix it, I did it in the utility room job, and I think I lost the footage of that, which it kind of buggered up the whole thing. Also, for some reason, some of the files that was in that wee camera became corrupt, so like 50% of the footage I can't seem to get off the memory card into the computer. I don't know what's happening. I think the wee camera overheated. I worked it too hard, too much footage on it. I had a really good video of me mixing screed and laying it down. I did that actually when my baby was born. I basically lashed the floor in as quick as I could, as I was trying to get it in so that it was dry, and I was trying to get it tiled so that when the child got home from the hospital that it was, you know, it was all clean again, a clean house. So how do I mix screed exactly? So personally, you're going to want, if you're going to mix it, your bigger mixers are better, but if what kind of mixer you're going to use, Spence, if you've only got a belly mixer, that's fine. That's what I mixed mine with. So mixing it, basically screed, you can do it a 4-to-1 mix with sharp sand. You can use plastering sand. Sharp sand's better, it's stronger. See mixtures now. So you're going to want to use sharp sand, buddy. 4-to-1. So stick all your sand in. You know, you could literally do this with damp sand. You don't need to add, you know, a couple of cups of water would probably do it. It's got to be a semi-dry mix. I'm gonna have to do a video on this to demonstrate exactly, you know, how you know when it's ready, because you can overmix it as well. If you overmix it, you can still use it when it's overmixed, but it'll break your heart because it'll turn the balls. I'm sure if you've ever got screed delivered, the edges sometimes have like wee balls that are all crusted up and hard. They probably came out at the very end. They've been overmixed slightly. But I try not to do too much screeding. I'm not the tallest guy in the world, but I'm not short. I tend to find it pulls the lower back clean out of me, more so than ceilings. I think sometimes I get my stilts set up good for the ceilings, and I can get my arm at a good angle, and it doesn't really bother my back as much that way. But basically your screed's 4-to-1. I think I'm not sure if I mentioned that in my screeding video, but I think I might also show the texture up close of the way it should be. So basically, you know, if you dampen down sand, or sand's outside and it's damp, that's really the way you want to have it mixed to. You know, you don't want it too wet. Obviously if it's too dry, you're going to need to wet it up another wee bit, but you definitely do not want screed too wet. It'll be very hard to work. It'll be very hard. You wouldn't even be able to rub your float over it or your trowel over it. It'll be sticky. It'll be a nightmare. You can, when you put the floor in, you can give it all a wee wet down with a wee mist spray over, and that'll help strengthen it. If you slow down the curing process with screed, it's supposed to give it extra strength. And I do actually believe in that theory, because I've done it in a few jobs that were a wee bit less than they should have been, and I've had to put fibres in. water, or put the sand in and the cement in first. I would put the sand in and dampen the sand down until it's sort of, you know, it's breaking up through, and then add your cement. If you wanted to, probably a better way might be put in, say your belly's gonna hold 4 buckets of sand. Put in 2 buckets of sand, a half a bucket of cement, while it's going, and then add the rest in as it mixes. Water. No, I would have damp sand in it, buddy. So I would, because you'll end up, you know, try and bring it that way instead of having. You can have a wee bit of water in, but I would try and have damp sand. I would try and start with damp sand and go it that way. But Gordon's just fired in the way he's been finishing off. 16-inch lay on stainless steel, basically the same trowels the REFINA what I do. 4-inch Marshalltown for the first flattening, and the 14-inch Super Flex flexi trowel for polishing up. Mostly use your 14-inch Marshalltown. Yeah, everybody tends to favour something. You know, you always just seem to put your hand to the same trowel nearly all the time, and mine definitely is the REFINA stainless steel. I think it's a lovely trowel, lovely handle. I know other people have had it, and they've held it and they've thought it was a better handle than the Marshalltown. I think Marshalltown's handles got worse since they put the writing on them, to be honest, because they get dirtier easier. The writing tends to grip the stuff. Spence has a speed skim, but I'm not sure if you've seen it. I'm sure you have. I have a video up on the speed skim demo. You know, it's a tool again. It's not a tool I use all the time. You don't particularly need a speed skim to be a plaster. People use straight edges, bits of wood straight edges that were straight for years before all the newer stuff came out. But I do like the speed skim. I do like having the option of it. I have a couple of different sizes. Yeah, so if you want to round your edges, to like a 5p shape, just with a wee file or a bit of sandpaper or a bit of a block or something, and make sure you file it off nice and tidy, obviously, you'll find that it will help you. I've never rounded mine off. They're actually becoming a bit rounder now because I tend to use mine for K-rand stuff, to flatten in K-rand. It actually works pretty well as well. People say you can't use them for sand and cement. I don't go for them for sand and cement all the time, but if it's the right size for like the likes of a cupboard or something, I will use it to pull up. I also have the metal REFINA one as well. No, I'm glad that demo helped. Also, what I don't think I mentioned in that demo, which if you watch it again, you'll see what I'm doing. I'm angling it as if you would angle your trowel to force the water and the access to the corner that I'm going to hit next, so that the line's more likely going to be there. I'll slant it a slight bit. I'll start off straight and then I'll just let one edge come further forward as I'm walking. You can't see it in the demo video, you can notice it, but I think I missed it out. I think I haven't actually put the attention of that out there, that's also what I'm doing, and that's why I'm not leaving much lines with a brand new speed skim. It's because of the angle with which, not just the angle that I'm holding it. This is sometimes why it's better to do it on video, but it's not. I'm keeping it flat, but I'm putting it at an angle. Imagine it's against the wall. I'll let one side come off the wall 2 inches, and then I'll go, slightly, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. File the corners. Well, personally, that's like I was saying with the speed skim about filing down the corners. I wouldn't file down the corners of a trowel, because the simple fact is you use it for sand and cement, and then you keep your skimming one for skim. But obviously if you're just starting out and you've only got one trowel and you need to sand it down, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can basically, dry troweling will help bring it down a bit too, but you don't want to leave any marks. But you can wear it down by cutting out angles of sand and cement. I'm not sure if you do much sand and cement, Spence, buddy. Not sure at all. That way. You can fit. You could. I don't want to be saying anything too harsh. Like, I've seen people using grinders and crazy things.
Do not be fooled by propaganda.
Sorry, guys. So don't want to be saying anything that way. You know, it's too harsh. But you can use a sandstone, a whetstone. Give it a wee light round. Sandpapers. Start off with a high grit and work your way down to a finer grit. Basically, that's what sand and cement does. Sand and cement is a high grit. When you're working on sand and cement, it's a high grit, so it's filing down your trowel. When you turn your trowel, you're taking the corners off. Yeah, I'll try and get a video up. I don't know if I have any new trowels left. I sort of tried to wear mine all in with sand and cement. Also, if you have a buddy that does floors, he'll have it broke in within a day. So he will, and it'll be lovely for skin. But like I said, just so you know yourself in the future, the way I do it is I keep them for sand and cement and that, and then when they wear in, I stop using them on sand and cement and I replace that sand and cement trowel with a new trowel, and I keep the other one for basically just skin. That's the way I kind of go about that. But I'll try and do a video of breaking one in. I need to get some sandpaper. It's not something I use a lot of. Wouldn't carry a lot of sandpaper with me. That way. Believe it or not, in the footage that's on there, coming on, I found a paper on. It was when I pulled that ceiling down, the paper that came out was like, it was like 30 years old, but it was like 2 days off the day that it was, and that's the second time that's happened to me. I don't know what that means. Like, I don't think it means anything, but you know what I mean. It's weird when you pull up newspaper out of a wall or it falls out of a ceiling, and it's like close to the date, like, of that month that you're working on. It's just weird. It's twice it's ever happened that I've actually sort of had a big chunk of paper and I've looked and went, that's strange. But yeah, Gordon, it's the same as myself. Sometimes I do jobs and before I've even, I've finished before I even took the camera out of the van. Sometimes you get in that mindset of conquering the job, and there's been many jobs where I've got so far on and people have basically been like, why did you not take before and after that job? Like for instance, even in that speed skim video, there's a wall in it that has, you can see wet sand and cement at the top and stuff, but the likes of that wall, that was a stone wall that was absolutely 5 thick to build out, and I had to build it out like 4 different days basically before I even got that wall done. But if I never had to plaster over another stone wall, I'd be happy. They're not easy work that way. But again, talking about stone, there's a couple of I'm going to come up with a couple of wee tests. People seem to think that sand cement's not good for stone. I'm going to have a wee test undergoing. We'll find out. So yeah, the 1200 is brilliant even for checking angles. Just when stuff's wet, you can give it a wee pull out. good for that. Like, it's definitely something. It's better that you have it, Spence, than you don't, because even the likes of some wee walls, you want to check up your angle. Just pull it across and then trowel it up again. Use it as a straight edge. It's brilliant that way. Yeah, I'll try and get some kind of video up where you can break in a trowel without actually using it on sand cement. Do for the second. The second set. Do you mean the first coat? But yeah, basically you would. That wouldn't be far away. You might use a wee bit less than 2. Sometimes I found if I, it was like a third. Yeah, no, I get you. Sometimes I found it was like a third covered the next coat. But obviously it depends. Like, sometimes you're building outdoor frames and they're a lot heavier. So obviously your first coat's gonna eat up the stuff, because you're gonna want to build out as much as you can. But yeah, if you estimate it's gonna take you 4 bags to scratch a room, then 2 bags will lay it down, more than likely. But like I've said in other videos as well, is when you're doing things, you always want to have a wee backup plan. Even if you have to bring back, or the customer has to bring back a bag or 2, you better looking at it than looking forward, because if you have half a landing wall on and you run short with half a bag, you're just gonna be goosed. That way, you're gonna be absolutely goosed if you run out that road. How much water per bag of skim? Well, for multi-finish and for Carlite finish, it's about a bucket to a bag. It's like a 3-gallon bucket, basically, like a builder's bucket per bag. So if your big bucket holds a bucket of water to halfway, a full bag will roughly do it. It's on board finish. I don't tend to use board finish. I find multi is better in the fact that you're not just stuck to having to keep it for boards. You have multi, it means if you have a couple of bags left over, you can use it for everything that way. But board finish probably will work out about the same, about one to one almost. I showed that on my video as well, how to mix plaster. Although I have seen people have said that they skimmed walls with board finish. Yeah, I heard guys, I heard a lot of people saying that they PVA'd the wall twice and just used board finish and that they never had problems. Personally, I'm too much by the book. I want to go by the book, so I always try and avoid doing things that the bag tells you not to do, or the product says don't do this, don't do that. So I tend to be a bit wary of doing that. But then it's a bit like uni finish. I actually seen uni finish in B&Q the other day. B&Q actually, one time, I think I may have even took pictures, they had a lot of stuff in, a lot of different things, and they had a pot of easy fill. Why would they need a pot of easy fill? It's just for patching up. Like, why would they need a full pot of that in? Just beyond my imagination. And you can actually touch up with just normal plaster as well, that way. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna shoot on and go get some food here. I got a text a while ago, so there must be food left over. I'll try and get back on in another couple of hours for another wee chat. 80 mil screed, buddy. What is that? 8 centimeters. Many inches is 80 mil? 80 millimeter is how many inches? You're just 80 mils, just about okay for screed, mate. So it is. 80 mil would be just about okay. If you're going over a floor, though, I would recommend you use SBR, prime the floor, or PVA it, super PVA, or both. Mix them together and give it a good paste. Get over it when it's sticky. It might actually involve you having to do all around the edges first and then paint the middle as you come back. If you're worried about it too, I did a video on how to reinforce your renders. And there's stuff called FiberTech. Basically it's just fibers. You don't need to just get all the guys on Twitter, FiberTech. If you let them know I sent you, he may give you a couple of free bags along with five bags or whatever. But yeah, so if you're worried about it cracking anything, you can also use the fibers that way. But yeah, I'll definitely, if I have a chance, on a video screen. Again, a bit like Karen was saying earlier, I'm not sure if you caught the start of the video. Not sure who was here when. But I have a couple of possible jobs come up. Of a lot of possible jobs in the pipeline, so hopefully I get, even if I get half of them, I'll be happy. But if I get a couple of them, there could be coins, there could be screen, there could be K-Rand, or there could be, I could be just left out in the lurch. But anyway, I'll leave that with you guys. I'm going to try and get back on in another couple of hours. So if you don't get on and I don't see you later on, have a great weekend, and be sure to check the video tomorrow. Like I said, there's always a new video every Sunday, and I'll try to have them out basically as soon as it hits Sunday, so everybody gets a chance to see it on the Sunday. But if I get back on another hour, hopefully you can, or another couple of hours, you can get another wee chat with me.